I'm Elisa Parker, and we are here at the 21st Annual Wild and Scenic Film Festival. Our hub is in downtown Nevada City, California, and Grass Valley, California, in the Sierras. It's one of my favorite weekends when thousands of filmmakers and other extraordinary change makers converge in our community. And our first guest today is Chris Metzler, and not only is he a veteran of Wild and Scenic, but he's also on the jury, and he is also part of the Green Film Festival of San Francisco. Did I get that right, Chris?
That's right.
Close.
Yeah.
I did. Pretty good for the morning there. Yeah. And you're also a filmmaker yourself.
Yes, I am. A documentary filmmaker, and have had a few films screened at Wild and Scenic over the years.
We were talking about it off the air. And thanks so much for joining us, Chris, and for being part of the festival. And you also brought your amazing young daughter, Zara. Hi.
She's a film festival veteran by now.
That's amazing. And where are you going to be heading to after the interview?
The kids. It's movies at the film festival and maybe Grey Goose.
Grey Goose.
Supporting local businesses.
Local businesses and the Children's Festival, or the Children's Screenings, which is happening this morning, which is great.
Or maybe the Kids Boutique.
The Kids Boutique. Well, your dad's very lucky to have such a good supporter and champion by his side. So, Chris, tell me about what your role has been like this year in the festival.
Yeah, it's exciting always to come back to Wild and Scenic. The first time I ever attended was back in 2005 with my film Plagues and Pleasures on the Salton Sea, and just really appreciated the kind of community atmosphere here. And so when they invited me to be on the jury this year, the thing that was interesting is getting a chance to see so many of the films ahead of time. And then so Friday, yesterday, myself and other jury members got together and kind of had to kind of claw it out of which ones we were going to kind of give awards to, because there's so many good films. It's like
so many
not
good
every
films.
film gets an award that is worthy.
What's one film, if you don't mind mentioning, that's stuck out for you as being a highlight?
So there's a film, I believe, From My Window, that's about a woman with cerebral palsy who sees these kind of snow-capped mountains out of her window each day and kind of imagines climbing, and eventually her friends and community get together to kind of like help her achieve her goal of like climbing to the top of one of these peaks. And the thing that's just, it's one of those things when you watch the movie, it's not about a how-to, it really is just like kind of this interior monologue of like her kind of how she's going to surmount these challenges, and it's a beautiful short film. Right.
And what is it called again?
From My Window.
From My Window. What has been for you as a filmmaker, and also when is the film festival happening?
So the Green Film Festival San Francisco takes place in October.
Okay.
So I get a chance to kind of scout some films here at Wild and Scenic to hopefully bring to San Francisco later in the year.
Were you able to meet in person this last fall?
This last year we were, yeah. So last year was our first year of kind of returning to kind of live and in person, and that's kind of exciting just because, when film festivals were virtual, it's great to be able to kind of share filmmakers' works, but I mean, gathering together and being able to talk about films is just such an important part of what a film festival is.
And you were a co-founder of this festival.
Yes, co-founder. So there was a Green Film Festival San Francisco for many years, and at the beginning of COVID, they wound up having to shut down. And so myself and friend Jeff Ross, who runs SF Indie Fest, we saw so many great environmental films that were coming through submissions, and we're like, where are we going to get a chance to screen these? And so we basically just decided to lean into it and say, let's keep the Green Film Festival San Francisco going and see how it goes.
That's great. What, as a storyteller yourself and a filmmaker, and as we're moving into hopefully post-pandemic, how has this shifted for you and how you're showing up for yourself and in your work, whether that's with the film festival or even, I don't know if you have any new productions coming up?
Yeah, I mean, so in regards to as a filmmaker, I think the way that the pandemic's just shifted is just more of like, it's kind of make me a little bit more risk averse, unfortunately, in the sense that, is this film worth the time, or, there's a lot more kind of nuances in regard. You can't just kind of go out with a camera. And so, I mean, in the sense of it's not just for our own safety, but of course you want to be respectful of the, the characters and the subjects that you kind of follow. So I think I'm still kind of getting my, feet wet again, kind of post-pandemic. In regards to festivals, I think we're kind of back to normal. But the one thing that we have tried to do is maintain the virtual component, like make all film festivals hybrid in the sense that, like, I mean, there's still folks that have compromised immune systems that can't return to the theater, but I think it also makes us aware of just accessibility in general of like,
Right.
we want everybody to be able to experience these films, and so we try to work with our filmmakers as partners to kind of make sure, whether it be in the theater or at home, these films can be shared.
Accessibility is huge, and that's been a big shift as a result of COVID and the pandemic. And in fact, Wild and Scenic is also screening online as well for some of our films, so doing the hybrid approach. And real quick, what would be your message to everyone about why it's so important to come to Wild and Scenic and participate in festivals like this and the Green Film Festival?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously the kind of environmental issues that exist are, important to champion awareness, but I think the reason why film festivals like Wild and Scenic are so important is that you can, even when you think you know everything about an issue, there's lots of nuance, and the filmmakers that kind of create and share their films with festivals like Wild and Scenic and the Green Film Festival of San Francisco is that I think there's always something to be learned, to be entertained, and also to kind of gather and discuss things, because we're not always on the same side, but if we're able to talk about it, maybe we're able to kind of achieve our goals in a better way.
It's so true. Coming together is really important. It gives us an opportunity to connect with each other, so share solutions, and hopefully bring joy to each other too, and some play and fun, because it's been a lot the last couple of years.
Absolutely.
A lot. So Chris, thank you for being our first guest this morning. Thank you for being part of the jury for Wild and Scenic, and also for everything you're doing to make a difference and telling the stories. And thanks, Sarah, for joining us as well. I hope you enjoy the Kids Film Fest. The kids'
It's going to be
screening.
exciting.
It's going to be great. Yeah. I'm Elisa Parker, Chris Metzler, Zara, and we will be here with you all day and also tomorrow. And stay tuned with us. We'll be right back.